everyone, Karen here, and today we have a card for Craft Roulette, and this is for episode 222. And the perimeters were a Dutch door, we'll talk about that in a second, gnome colors with a movie element. So when I have those two things in the same card, I was thinking the movie Gnomeo and Juliet, so this card's going to be blue and red. And building blocks, I'm going to use bricks for that, and that's going to be in my matte layers. And let me show you what I have. So my card blank is going to be craft card, and we'll cut this in a second to make it a Dutch door. Here is the Crafter's Companion brick embossing folder I'm using. Now this is what it's going to look like once I'm finished. It was going to look like this. So I'm going to show you how we're going to get there. 2 of the 3 pieces I already colored, and I'm going to show you how to color the third. And this is going to be for the front of the card, and this is going to be the inside of the card, and we'll talk about those as we go along. So I have movie theme pieces that I drew. I have a camera, I have some popcorn, and my messaging is all going to be on these little pieces here that look like a piece of film. So let me move this to the side and we will get started. So I think the first thing we'll do is prep the card base. So this is a 5x7 card base. So this is a piece that is 10 inches across, 7 inches down, folded in half. So we need to make this front a Dutch door. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And all we're going to have to do here is cut this piece here. So if this is 7 inches long, we're going to go half of that, which will be 3.5. So I'm going to come to 3.5 here. And I am going to cut this. Make sure I have it at 3.5 and not 2.5. All right, so it's at 3.5. We're going to come up here to the top, and I am going to come down to where the 5 is, because that's the front of my card. So now I've split the front of the card in half. Because a Dutch door is a door that is split. Some people like to call it a farmhouse door. But it's the same type of thing. Any door that is split. So the front of your card needs to be split. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take care of the front of the card. So this is what the brick is going to look like when we're finished. Because I did this one to make sure the color combination was good. And I started with gray paper from Kingston Crafts, and we're going to cover it with the faded brick from Gina K. So I just took a piece of paper that is 4x6. I ran it through the embossing folder. Figured you didn't need to see that. So now we take this paper here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to put a piece of scrap underneath here, and I'm going to take the ink, and you simply lightly go across, and because the parts are raised, you're only going to get ink on those parts. The parts that are recessed are not going to get any ink on them. And you can go in a circle if you want. You know, just something that's going to give it a brick look. You don't want it completely even because brick is not even. And just keep going back and forth until you get it to the color you want it to be. I'll flip it around. Go back and forth on here. I'm going to go on this edge some more because that looks a little light. And you know, you don't want it the same all the way up and down. And here we go. And it is that simple. So just emboss first, and then just lightly drag it across. And you will get yourself a nice brick. This also works with anything that's stone. We'll make it look like it's a stone wall. Just use either a gray or a tan, which will look like the mortar, and then you just color whatever the rock or brick you need on the top. So there you go. All right, so the front here, these 2 pieces are going to get glued together. So let me grab my glue. And this gray piece is a 4x6. So this piece here is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and this is just going to go in the center, like this. All right, so this is going to go on the front, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom piece here, so when you open it like you would a normal card, it still leaves this flap here. It will leave the top part of the Dutch gate. So I'm going to take the smaller piece here, which, because this is 3 1/2, I cut this to 4 by 2 1/2, and this one is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and I'll have all these measurements listed down below. So this is going to get glued together. This is the one that's going to go on here. Now all I want to make sure is that when I center this, I want this to be covered. So I'm going to glue this piece on first. Make sure that's in the center. And while that is still wet, I am going to put glue on the bottom half of this. I'm going to turn this sideways. I'm going to line it up with the top here to make sure I cover that, because you don't want that showing when the card is closed. And I'll make sure I'm happy with the placement here, because this glue is forgiving, so it does give me a moment to get everything set. So now when I open this piece, and then that will be the second part of the card, and then the inside message will go in here. So my inside message, so this piece is a 4 by 6 again. I have another piece of brick, which is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to put this right on top of here. This will give me my red and blue. And if anybody hasn't seen that movie, it's really kind of cute. And the music in it is great, because it's all Elton John music. Move this out of the way here. We'll put this on here. Put that in the center. And this will come on here. This will go on here. Now this, you are going to see part of it when you open up the first flap, but that's okay, because I wanted to put the big message on here. I could have shrunken the font a little bit and put it on the top a little bit more, but this will be fine. All right, so that will be like this and like this. All right, so now let's decorate. So the front of the card is going to have the set that I drew. So I have a movie camera here. I have a happy birthday, which this is a 3-piece. There's a solid square. There's a frame for the movie, which will go on top of here. And then the happy birthday sits inside. So let me glue this together. So let me get my fine tip bottle, put some glue on here. Some glue across here. And on the sides. First I'm going to pick up the happy birthday to make sure that's in the center. And then I'm going to lay this all on here. Actually, I need a little bit more glue. I did not put glue on the back of the happy birthday. Let's just put a little glue on here. This will all get lined up. Because the gray piece underneath fits flush all the way across. And it just gives your piece here that looks like a piece of film a little bit more structure. So it's a little bit more stable when you put it on your card. And it also gives you a little bit more real estate back here to glue everything down. So there's the happy birthday in the film. Alright, so this will be on the front, like this. So I think I want to put this up on some foam. So let me grab some foam. Alright, so happy birthday will be here. And this will be down here. I think that's all really the front needs. I may put an extra popcorn. I may go back. I only have one here. I may go back and get a second popcorn. Alright, so we'll put this here. And happy birthday here. So now the front is finished. So now when you open the card up, you get to this back part, and I'll erase this here. You get to this part here. So the inside here is going to say, "You don't look a day over fabulous." So we'll put this together the same way. We'll put some glue on here. Cross here. A couple dots here. Hold everything down. Put some gray in the middle here for that. That's where the fabulous sign is going to go. And I'll put all this on here. Get this all lined up. It's a nice thing about the Call-Out glue is it does give you a second to get everything all lined up. All right, that's all lined up. And I think I will put that flat since it's on the inside of the card. I think. Yeah, maybe I will put it on some foam. Because this foam is only 1/16 thick. So even with these two parts of the card being on foam, you're still only 1/8 of an inch thick, which is usually what we do shaker cards. So it's not too thick. So let's see, that one goes that way. So I will angle this one the other way. And let me take the popcorn. And this will be here. You know what? I think I'm going to glue the popcorn down. Just to give it a little dimension. That will be here. And the inside is done. So there it is. Craft Roulette, episode 222. Let's go back over it again. So we have our Dutch door. We have our gnome colors. We have the red and the blue from Gnomeo and Juliet. We have our movie elements. We have our camera. We have some film. We have a popcorn. And we have building blocks. There are bricks. So there it is. Easy peasy. I just need to erase this over here. There it is. So I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe and see the other cards I do, that would be awesome. And until next time, stay crafty.